back to another episode of Engineered to Drive. So today we're going to be continuing with the engine rebuild in my Mark 1 AW11 MR2. So from the last episode, you guys saw that we took the engine out of the car. It wasn't too bad. Found out that the transmission actually had a crack on one of the mounting holes for the bolt. So I'm pretty glad that I'm not going to be using that transmission on top of having another one that has a limited slip differential. So anyway, this engine has already been previously rebuilt, but I was actually pretty inexperienced when I did it. I didn't have anybody who had experience in rebuilding engines here with me to tell me what I was doing wrong. So I did what I thought was the best thing to do. I tried going by the book, but obviously it failed. So going to be taking the head off. We're going to lap the valves, make sure that they're good to go. Because what happened was I did a leak down test on it, and the valves were leaking on the exhaust side on cylinder number 3. And also, whenever I did the rebuild last time, didn't get the rings like an idiot. Didn't balance the rotating assembly like an idiot. So not good for longevity of the engine. So heads off. As you can see, cylinder number 3 never got any combustion to it, so it's not even burnt or anything. The other cylinders have oil inside of it because when we were doing the compression tests, put some oil in each cylinder to see if it would make a difference and bump the number up, but it didn't. So anyway, the head's off, and as you can see right there, the exhaust valve on cylinder number 3 is stuck wide open. So I don't know if that was the valve guide, the valve sim, or the valve itself. So I've yet to figure that out. But I'm going to go ahead and disassemble the head and see what actually happened there. And then just keep moving forward. I'm also going to continue taking the block apart because the cylinder number 4 actually has, I don't know if you can see that on camera right there, these 2 vertical lines, but you can actually feel that. So I'm gonna hopefully be able to just take my honing tool and hone it out, and it'll get rid of that. It doesn't feel too deep into the cylinder wall itself. But anyway, I'm gonna continue taking the block apart, flip it over, take the oil pan off, and start taking connecting rods and shit out so that we can see what actually happened with this engine. So the head is off now. I'm going to go ahead and start disassembling the head. I went ahead and labeled the shims for their respective areas. As you can see, the E6 is the one that is all the way sunk into the bottom, and that happens to be the valve that is stuck open on cylinder number 3. So like I said, they're already all labeled, I1, I2 through I8, and same thing, E1, E2 through E8. And now we're going to go ahead and start the disassembly process. Alright, so when it comes to taking the valve springs out and taking the keepers out, what I do is I just take a big socket. So in this case I have a 3/4 socket, and I just put it over the valve spring, and all I do is I just push down and kind of wiggle the ratchet and then pull up, and what it does, it just takes the keepers out, as you can see right there. And there you go, the valve spring is out, and it makes it a lot easier to do. So when it comes to putting them back in though, I will show you guys a trick to getting them back into a 4AG ahead. All it involves is literally a piece of plastic. For example, like a thick piece of plastic, such as like a plastic bag or something, like a thicker plastic bag. And all you do is you just place the plastic bag down over the valve spring, and then you just take the same socket as last time and you just push over the plastic bag. And once you push over the plastic bag, it contains everything, and it just kind of just sets the keepers back in place within the valve spring, and everything stays put. Alright, so it's the next day. I did find out what the issue was with the head. So, as we know from last time, this exhaust valve number 6, was stuck open. So, this bucket won't come out. I took out all the other ones out of the head, but this one won't come out at all. The head is also visibly damaged. But it is visibly damaged right there, and some right up here. But anyway, so I don't know if that will be able to be dremeled out or what. Another thing that I noticed about this bucket as well is if you look at a regular one, you can see the equal spacing of the top and the bottom pieces right here. If I can catch a little better, that gap and that gap, they're a lot alike. They should be the same spacing on either end. Actually, it's a little bit wider on the bottom than the top, I just noticed. But either way, with this one, you can see that the bottom is super wide, and I can actually see that it's broken, and the top is just like all the other ones, but still. So basically all I've been trying to do is just push this down, and then I just take a rubber mallet and smack the valve. Like that. And what I'm hoping that'll do is that it'll jump out of there so that I can finally get this head apart. Like I said, I have another spare head. It is also a big port head, so that it would be compatible and I could use it. It is over here. It's right here. So this is actually the head that came off of this block, and this block is a GZE block. It's my old block. It needs rings and that's it. But that's the spare head that I have available if I do want to use it. I'm kind of thinking that I'm going to use it now,